I learned something fascinating about my dad when he passed away last year that connects directly back to reinvention and the idea that I think we sometimes have when we get into our 50s and 60s, that it's just too late for us to change. We can't change anything about ourselves. We are who we are. I'll tell you a little bit about him first. So my dad was 88 when he passed away in August of 2025. Old school Italian, served in the military, 82nd Airborne. Never really talked about, feelings and things of that nature. It was assumed that he loved us because he provided for us, he took care of us. My dad was very much a doer. And, he didn't really he wasn't very expressive with his emotions. I think I probably saw him cry literally 2 times in my life. I'm 61 years old now. I was 60, obviously, when he passed away. The 2 times that I saw him cry were, one, when my older sister passed away in 2007, and the second time was when my mom passed away in 2008. So when my dad passed away, my brothers and I are in different states. My older brother went home first and called me a day or so after he got there. And he said, you're going to learn. I'll never forget his exact words. He said to me, you're going to learn a lot about our father when you get here. And he just told me that they found that he had been writing in these journals to my mom since she passed away. And I was like, journals? What are you talking about, journals? Dad doesn't write in journals. And he said, well, apparently he did. So I had no idea what to expect, none whatsoever. So when I got back home later that week, the first thing I went to look for were these quote unquote journals. And what I found just astounded me. Not only did I look at these journals, but he had also had a couple of shoe boxes full of Christmas cards, birthday cards, anniversary cards, Easter cards, all those types of things. 1 box for my sister and 1 box for my mother that he had been sending since they passed away. And then I found the journals, which I thought, okay, journal, small, little book. No, but if you can imagine, just picture what maybe your high school or college yearbook may have looked like. These were not soft journals. These were large books, thick, hardcover, leather-bound books. And he had been writing in these journals to my mother since her birthday. Her birthday was in December. She passed away in August of 2008. So on her birthday, in December of 2008, he started to write these entries, these letters to her. And he continued that for the next 15 years. None of my brothers nor myself have looked at any of these entries. We haven't looked through the journals. Those are things between him and my mom. The only curiosity I had is, when did he stop writing? So I did look at the last entry, which was in 2023, excuse me, where he said to her, a little pause there for some of the emotion to pass. His last entry again was in 2023, where he was apologizing to her for not being able to continue to write. His hand, he just had too much pain in his hand, so he lost the ability to continue to write to her. And I just remember thinking, and when I got there and saw those journals, I was like, who does this? Who writes to a woman who has been gone for 15 years? And I couldn't reconcile that with how I knew my dad to be, which was this very deadpanned, again, not very emotional guy. And my dad was not somebody who journals, who talked about feelings. And, and people who write in journals are very, expressive. They want to get out how they feel onto paper, and it helps them. That was not my dad. So I couldn't reconcile that. And then I realized it's like, that was his own personal reinvention. He didn't do it publicly. He did it very privately. And none of my brothers, his grandkids, his friends, no one had any idea that these journals ever existed until we found them after he passed away. He didn't talk about it. It was just something that he did. And he was 71 when he started writing in these journals. And I just was fascinated by that. So here is my dad at age 71, reinventing himself into someone who now is expressing to the woman that he was married to for decades these feelings. And I can only assume that's what he was talking about in the entries. But I was really amazed by that at 71, here was someone who was reinventing himself into a person who was communicating in that way with somebody who was already gone, who had been gone for a long time. And it really stuck with me, because I know that once we get it at a certain point in our life, we just feel that there's nothing else that we can do. The way that we think, the way that we are, the way that we act is the way that it will always be. And that is just not true. We always have the ability to do things differently, to think differently, to act differently, to want to be better. And I really took a huge lesson from that. And that seeing those journals is really something that will stick with me for the rest of my life. And it's just a testament to an old school Italian man can reinvent the way that he interacts with someone who was gone already. Is just it's just I can't find a better word. It's just amazing to me, and I'll always think about that, because even during my own reinvention, I come across, I'm not perfect. I've been going through this for 6 years now, my own personal reinvention. And I get still stuck in it. Sometimes it's like, okay, well, why bother? Why bother trying to think about this in a different way? I go back to my dad's journals. It's like, okay, if my dad can be this different, 180-degree turn from anything I ever experienced about him, then whatever I'm going through at any given moment, I know that I can do it. I know that I can look at life a different way, and I can interact with life and interact with people in my life in a different way. And I know we can all do that. We really can. It's simple. I know it's not easy. So I hope you can maybe think about my dad's reinvention. If you're in a spot now where you just think there's no change ahead for you, I hope that maybe my dad's story will spark something within you to at least try something different. And again, like he did, it doesn't have to be a public thing. You can do it in private. You can do it on your own. You can just do it within your own mind. But I think the important part is to at least just to try and just to do it. Thank you for taking a few minutes to listen to my story. about my dad. And I hope it will help you in your own process of reinvention. And I'll see you in the next video.